Hello, and be sure to, yeah, sorry. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you how to install Linux Mint on a desktop. And I just grabbed one out of my shelf. And what you do is you go out there and you search in whatever search browser you're looking for in Linux Mint. I'm assuming that the laptop you are using doesn't have anything else on it, but if it does, you can delete whatever you need on there. This is going to be a full install, but nothing else. I'm not going to have any other operating system on there. And you go out there and you figure out which version or edition you want to use. I'm going to be downloading the Cinnamon edition. Also on the website for Linux Mint, as you see I've gone out here, they give you information in here as to how to download it, where to download it, which version you want to get, or which edition you want to get. And I'm watching the screen as I do this. Sorry. And it shows you different versions like Mate and I think that's an Alice or something. Anyhow, I'm choosing Cinnamon just because I feel like it's the closest one to Windows. And the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of people are trying to get away from Windows 11, and I really can't blame them. I'm recommending because of the cost and the requirements on the hardware and everything else, even though there's ways of cheating, most people don't want to go out and buy a new machine, and you can install Linux on another machine. I'll probably also give you videos on Linux. It talks about how to do a live boot, how to create installation media, and that's what I'm going to be doing here to show you how to create the installation media based upon their steps. So I'll go down here and I'll click on the download the Cinnamon edition, which is right here. And I'm, by the way, as you see, I'm doing this on a Windows machine. As a matter of fact, Windows 11. And I'm creating a USB stick, which is bootable. And it takes you out to sites which I call mirrors, sites where you can download the version you're looking for. Apologize, I'm fighting allergies. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab one that I feel is close to me or is fast enough, whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it and start the download. And you see, right there is the download. It's starting. It'll take a while. And I'll save that into my download folder, which you'll see. And while it's doing that, I'll probably go back and get the other tools that they recommend you use in order to create your boot USB stick. And again, it depends upon your machine. I'm just grabbing one out of my shelf to install it on. And I may end up fast forwarding over this. And again, the real reason why I'm doing this is because I help a lot. I'm actually an IT guy who's been working at it for over 40 years. And I've seen too many people get in a situation where they're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I mean factories and businesses, $100,000 on new equipment that they really don't need to do because all they're doing is going out and web browsing. Or all they're doing is running a specific app, which these apps actually can be run in a variety of ways, and I may cover that later, but many of these things can be run on Linux, or there's an alternative program in Linux. And I'm just going to show you how to install Linux Mint, Cinnamon this time, Linux Mint. And I'll be probably downloading other versions of Linux and doing other installs so you can see how to do those as well. So I go here to my USB stick, and I don't know why I did that, but and here's the download again, showing you that it's downloading. And it does take a while. And again, like I said, I am downloaded onto a Windows box. I'm going to create the USB installation flash drive or USB stick or whatever you want to call it on a Windows machine. This could be done on another Linux machine or even on a Macintosh. They have instructions on how to do this. And there's other options on how to install, but this is what I'm going to show you. And again, the reason why is because there are a lot of people that just, sorry, don't need to be spending money on something they don't need to be spending money on. And feel free to text me or message me here on YouTube if you have another idea for a computer video that I probably need to do, or more details on something you want me to cover. I'm probably going to be doing more of these. I have limited funds, and I actually have limited time too, but limited funds on what I can do. And I have a lot of computer stuff and computer information that I could share with you and help you out with. So feel free to contact me back if there's something you'd like to see. I hate helping and supporting all those that used to be what I call my competition, but I really don't have competition. Sorry. A lot of IT people come out and look at my website and want to find out what I do, so I don't care anymore. I mentioned that earlier in the video. So anyhow, here we go, and it tells you how to create a bootable USB stick. And I'm actually going to go out here and download the application they tell me to download. Well, I'm not going to use ImageWriter. I'm just not going to use that, even though I could. I'm actually going to use their other program down here. Which is the Escher or Bleacher, or whatever they want to call it. But anyhow, I'm going to download it and use it to create my bootable USB. You could also create a DVD, but now anymore, some of the machines do not have DVD players. That's why I'm doing it on a USB. Pretty well most of them have that. Or you can buy an adapter to let you connect your USB if you don't already have one, which you should have one. Alright, so I'm going to download Escher. I'm going to pick the ones appropriate for my computer. For Windows, it's an installer. Yeah, there it's downloading as well. And once I get these both downloaded into the download directory, I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to try to do more videos on this computer stuff, since pretty well that's what my business is now. Self-support, training, programming, all sorts of computer stuff. And this, I think, is a good way to start. Because, in my opinion, I think Microsoft went a little too far with what they're doing in Windows 11 and requirements and everything else. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to Windows. There's a reason for it. And then again, there's some people who just want to go out there and browse the web. And they can do that with a Chromebook, with Chrome OS. They can do it with a Macintosh, a Mac OS. They can do it with Windows, since Windows sometimes comes free with the computers. They can do it in Linux. They can do it whatever. But again, I just want to take an old computer and make it usable. So anyhow, I got them both downloaded. Now I'm going to run this Escher program, and you can watch what I do step by step. We go out there and find the file I want to burn to the USB stick. I have my SanDisk. That's a chosen USB stick that I have in the computer before we started this. I stuck it in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and do what they say is flash it, which is that lightning bolt, whatever, installing. So it's creating a bootable USB flash drive or USB stick that you can boot up on and install Linux Mint. Again, I apologize for my coughing. And this takes a while too, as you see. Wish I had some important conversation to leave with you now, or some philosophical statement, or something to make your life more pleasant and enjoyable, but I don't think I help anybody anymore. My life isn't going that great, as some people are aware. So yeah, doing this, you're using that that image file that was out here, chose it and burning it now to the USB. By the way, I'm capturing these images using OBS, Open Broadcast System. It's a free video capture and thing. I'm also editing this with an old video editing program. It's not the world's greatest, but hey, it's simple, easy to use, and quick. I might cover others later, but right now I'm using this one, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, if you see me make mistakes, you'll see that me making mistakes, because that's what I do, and you can criticize me. And it doesn't look like this is the fastest thing either. But that's okay. And as I said a few minutes earlier, feel free to email me about some computer or technology question you have. I'll see about covering it. Yes, I'd like to get back to, I know a lot of people come here for kaleidoscopes. I'd like to get back to kaleidoscopes, but they are very expensive, and the first surface mirror is now hard to get, and I have some. I got to find it. I had some help cleaning up my storage area. And you know, sometimes that help does not help, but it's help. And just trying to make it through life. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it's doing much. And so I clipped out the section, and here I am. I'm booting this computer up, and it's an old Dell laptop. Best it could run was Windows 10. Couldn't run Windows. I mean, it could run Windows 11 by tricking, but this originally had Windows 7 on it. And I apologize for my wife's foot in the background. Enjoy. So I boot up on the USB stick, and you can watch me do it. Hitting the F12 key on this particular machine. And it gives me the boot selection. And in here I'm choosing the SanDisk, the USB storage device right there. And I select that to boot off of it, and I boot off of it. And you get to watch it boot, and then ask me which version I'm going to run. I'm going to choose the default one up here at the top. Actually, no, I guess not. I'm going to choose, yeah, there are various options, and you choose one that you think is okay. I just choose one at the top, because I know it works fine on this machine. And it'll boot up in Linux, and you'll watch. This is live. Well, not live, but recorded. And there it is, booting up in Linux. And I'll try to move this monitor where you can see it here. And again, like normal, it takes it a while. And it finds all your hardware and everything else is booting up. It's creating a virtual operating system in memory. And actually, Actually, you can run Linux Mint right off the USB drive. You do not need to have it installed on your computer, but I'm assuming that you don't want to walk around with USB drives sticking out of your machine in order to run your Linux. I assume you want to actually install it on your computer so it acts like a normal computer. You know, you turn it on, you boot it up, and there you are. And again, it's taking a while. There's the mouse cursor. Things are working in the background. Just trust me, it's doing its thing. Again, sorry for the cough. And there we are. We're at Linux Mint. This is the desktop. It looks kind of like Windows 10 to a certain degree, and that's kind of what it's trying to look like. And I choose the install Linux Mint right up here at the top. It's got an icon on the desktop of this fresh boot that we did. And it lets us go through the process, and I'll just show you what the process is. Again, this was an old computer I pulled off the shelf. I think it's got 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 256 gig M.2 memory stick inside that solid state drive type thing. And then you pick your, it's hard for me to see on the screen I'm looking at it. You pick your country and your keyboard and your time zone and that stuff. And you'll know that I'm Central Time, United States. And I can connect to my Wi-Fi right now if I want to. But you don't have to. That's the neat thing about this. Unlike like Windows 11 that forces you to go out there and create a Microsoft account. Again, I know you can get past that and everything else, but it makes you create a Microsoft account online and all this other stuff. Well, you can run everything you want to that works on Linux right on your Linux desktop. You don't have to go out there and use this web stuff, but you can. You can even run Microsoft Office online, Office 365 online, using a web browser right here on Linux. So if you got that and that's the way you do it, that's fine. You can share your work with your coworkers even though you're running Linux. But there's other programs that are available that I will try to cover. If you want to text me or message me, I'll let you do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here and I'm going to look at what's choosing. Again, my solid state drive has been used, but it's completely wiped out. So it doesn't have anything else on it. Normally, if it has partitions on it, I'd go ahead and delete those and all this other stuff. But now I'll choose where I'm at. And I'm located in central Illinois, so that's the best option here. I probably should claim this as an ASMR. You can look that up because my voice probably puts everybody to sleep, which is fine. And I'm going to give it a name. And some versions of Linux require you to put in a password. Some don't. Some let you automatically log in. If you use a password, whether or not you automatically log in or not, write it down on a piece of paper and have it handy with this computer, or have it in a handy location. Same thing with Windows and everything else you use. 90% of the crap I have to deal with is somebody forgot the password. Write it down. We'll say it again. Write it down. Use something that you have got memorized. So yeah, I'm putting in a password in here because unfortunately this install requires a password, but it's a local account, and I've used owner as, I believe owner, yeah, I think owner as the name of the user. I like to do that. This also lets you install an OEM version of it, which means it's one where you can set up your machine and hand to somebody else, and then they can do all this install part. Try it sometime if you want to learn about it, or text me, email me, contact me somehow, and ask for me to go through it, and I always show you what happens. Whatever. So here it's now installing the Linux Mint. And I booted this off of that USB stick, as you saw on the side. That's where it's running from. And I do apologize for this video. It's not best, but it's the camera I had available. And it's talking about what it can and cannot do, which is interesting. You find out a lot right there. Browse the web, yeah. And I hate to say this, a lot of people I know really doesn't matter whether or not they're using Windows or Macintosh or whatever. They just need an operating system to go out there and browse the web. And Linux can do it, and you can also get a free word processing program that you put on there. I mean, Office Suite. I shouldn't call it word processing. It has word processing, database, spreadsheet, and all that stuff, and it works just as good as Microsoft Office does, but you don't have to pay the huge fee. It is different, though. I'm going to say that. It is different. So getting it from one your machine over to somebody who's running Microsoft Office or getting the Office data in yours be complicated or a little confusing. Typically, though, it can be done. It's usually not a bad deal. But anyhow, this is just showing you how to install the Linux operating system. And it plays music. It does pretty well everything all the other operating systems do. And that's one thing. As these different ones install, they may or may not have ads for you to sit through telling you why you should use it, or why you should pay for the full version as opposed to this beginning version. Now, Linux, if you're wanting to have additional support and assistance without going out there and doing it on your own, or looking it up, or going to YouTube, or browsing the web, or whatever, some of these let you pay to get a Premier or like a Plus service where you can contact them and they can tell you what to do. But to be honest, my opinion is you don't have to. But some people like that, and some people do it, and that's fine. You can do it if you want to. And also, you may want to go ahead and give them money to support them, to allow them to continue to do their efforts of having a relatively free operating system. And some of these companies have relatively free or actually free programs. I'm not opposed to that. Now, I have done that too myself. Not saying you should or you had to, but it's nice to have alternatives. And right now, in my opinion, I would like to convert all my, well, I can't convert all my Windows stuff over, but my Windows stuff, I'm going to be converting a lot of them over to different versions of Linux, because I've got to support all this stuff. I have to support Macintosh and Windows, and I've had to support Windows XP and 98 and 95 and DOS and you name it, and I still support it and have to support it, so I kind of have to have it, or at least keep my mind fresh with it. Yeah, it's pretty bad when you're an old guy like me. People sit there and say, well, what's a command line? And I have to tell them what it is and how to use it. And what's a DOS prompt? And amazing what I had to know in factories in order to keep some of their old equipment running. Should tell you horror stories. But those horror stories really aren't horror stories, because knowing that stuff has allowed me to do some things that some people didn't even know could be done. And they're building into the operating system, and they just don't even know it, which is amazing. Oh, also, programming. Sometimes it's better for you to take something you're running and like a spreadsheet and have it converted to an application. I see a lot of that where they get overloaded with 4 or 5 spreadsheets in there and running 2 different versions of Excel or multiple sheets in Excel or whatever, and their machine gets locked up. Well, some of those things are simple enough they could have been converted to applications, and then you could run as many of them as you wanted, basically. But people don't know that stuff. I've been at it too long, I guess. So again, this is the install of Linux Mint. I haven't added anything to it. It's the one that comes off from the factory, or not from the factory, but from the website, and it tells you what applications it has available and what it looks like and what it's going to install for you. And typically on Linux, Firefox, not necessarily always Firefox, but Firefox is usually the web browser they use, and it's a nice one. Then they usually have either LibreOffice or OpenOffice as your office suite. Sometimes it's given to you automatically, or you can download and install it. I can show you how to do that if you want to know. But anyhow, here we go. We're starting to finish up the install. And it says something on my video right here while I'm watching this and doing the narration. I really can't see it, but I think it says that you can, yeah, there we go. I'm moving it for myself here. And it says, thing install is complete. Yeah, installation is complete. You can remove the, you can continue testing it until you restart the computer. Any changes you make in documents say will not be preserved. So I'm going to take the USB stick out and I'm going to restart it. And you'll see me take the USB stick out. See, I'm pulling it out right there. Yep, there she goes. It's gone. So now I've installed the operating system on the laptop. I don't need the USB stick in order to run it. I think it says press enter to restart. Yeah. I'm hitting the enter key. Enter key used to be called the return key way back in the dark ages. Some keyboards even used to say new line. So now here I am. I'm booting right off the storage device inside the laptop. And this is a Dell laptop, like I said, and it would not run Windows 11. I mean, yeah, I could trick it out to run Windows 11, but without tricking out, it wouldn't pass the Windows 11 requirements, hardware requirements. So I can install Linux on it. Now I am, and so it's booting up in Linux, and it looks like it does. There's a little problem. There's Linux Mint. That's actually pretty nice to start up with. And it's going to go through and tell you some of the stuff and whether you want to install it or launch it, etc. And I'm not too sure exactly what all I did, but right now, this is a machine that's ready to go. You can do with it as you see. You see all these applications that are installed in here, just like Windows, and here I am. I'm just going to shut it down, and you click the power, you click the icon in the lower left, and you tell it to shut down, and there you go. I've got full, complete install of